Good morning, friends. Let's continue with our discussion on cellular manufacturing. In the previous class, we had just got introduced to this area called as cellular manufacturing. Basically, this is also called as ultimate in lean production. Objective is to reduce movement of material as well as people. That's the primary objective. You want to reduce the movement of people as well as the parts which are being manufactured. In order to do that, you will form some clusters of machines along with parts mapped to them. Clusters of machine along with parts mapped to them. That is what you try to do in this. So when you form that clusters, the objective is that you will restrict the movement of people as well as parts. It is also called a scientific way of doing production. We'll continue with this discussion. Let's come to question 14. It's just repeat of rank order clustering algorithm with certain bit of changes here. You are newly appointed management consultant with experience in lean system. During discussion at meeting, managing partner explained the assembly line workflow process at Rio along with machine part incident matrix. Machine part incident is which machine is needed for which part. They are mapping them. You quoted about your past experience of implementing cellular manufacturing. Mr. Gupta asks you to find appropriate cells. We are required to find the cluster of cells. Comment on the results. What is that commentary? We'll see. What we are required to do is we'll copy the first table, assign some binary weights to the column or to the row. One of them you will assign. The last column or the last row is 2 power 0, then 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, and then you add up the decimal equivalent for the column or the row depending on which you assign the weights. Rank, reorder. Assign weights, total, rank, reorder. That is what the approach is. Let's copy the initial matrix. Table 1. Table 1. This is in your additional material, okay? So your entire discussion of cellular manufacturing is there only in the additional material. Machine B. I'm just copying the matrix. Machine C, D, E, F, six products are there. More and more products, more and more machines, the complexity increases. It becomes more and more difficult to create that proper flow. I think this is the order. The initial matrix has to be perfect. You cannot make an error when you're copying it. Sorry, I missed this. I think this is how the matrix looked initially. I'll assign weights. You can assign weights to column, you can assign weights to row, doesn't really matter. The last column is 2 power 0, 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, and 2 power 5. The last one is 2 power 0. Decimal equivalent and rank. Now decimal equivalent is very simple. P3 has a value, so the weight of P3 is 8. 8 plus 2. 8 plus 2. Weight of P3 is 8. Weight of P5 is 2. 8 plus 2. 4 plus 2 plus 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1. Weight of P4 is 4. P5 is 2. P6 is 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1. 32 plus 16. 32 plus 16. 8 plus 2 plus 1. Do let me know if at all anywhere any calculation errors happen. 32 plus 16 plus 4. 32 plus 16 plus 4. Rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5. Any doubts on table 1? We have assigned weights first, wrote the decimal equivalent and then added. Now in the second one I'll have to first rearrange this. This order will not work. Whatever order we earlier had is not going to work. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, no change as of now. But machine ordering will be like this. First is machine F. First is machine F. Second is machine D and E, 2 and 3. Then it is B and C. I've rearranged them. Two power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. Assigned weights to now each of the rows. Earlier we assigned it to each of the columns. This basically means machine F has a weight of 16, machine D has weight of 8, machine E has weight of 4, machine B has weight of 2, machine C has weight of 1. Sixteen plus 8, 24. Again 16 plus 8, 24. 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2. 16 plus 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1. 4 plus 1. 16 plus 8, 16 plus 8, 4 plus 2, 16 plus 1, 4 plus 2 plus 1, 4 plus 1. Now there is a tie. You can write any of them as rank 1 and any of them as rank 2, or both as rank 1 also, doesn't really matter. I'm just writing this as 1 and 2. I don't want to change the order. So I'm writing it as 1 and 2. Anything can be 1, anything can be 2, or even you can technically write them both as 1 and 1 also. Doesn't really matter. 1, 2, this will be my 3, this will be my 4, this will be my 5, and this will be my 6. I'll have to change the sequence now. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6. You'll have to change the sequence. This was your table 2. Table 2. I hope this is clear. There is a tie in values. Your wish, which you want to put as rank 1, rank 2, doesn't really matter. Your wish, you can put it in any order. The parts has to be rearranged now. Parts have to be rearranged. P1 and P2 is fine. Then comes P4 and P5. I've rearranged them. Please rearrange them. Rearrange the order. Binary weights, rank 2 power 0, 2 power 1, one, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Binary weights are introduced. This will become 32 plus 16 plus 8. 32 plus 16 plus 8. Do let me know if at all there is a doubt here, okay? Your ranking is not in exact sequence. If that's not in sequence, you will see changes being done. rearrange binary weights, decimal equivalent, and then the rank. Any doubts on table 3? Anyone has any doubts still doing? Let me know. If at all you have not completed, then also let me know. Let's rearrange them. There's the order now. Rearrange the matrix. Rearrange the matrix. You can let me know if you want me to discuss anything. And do let me know if at all anywhere any error has happened. If at all somewhere some error has happened, do let me know. Again, we have not reached the proper sequence. We'll have to continue till we reach proper sequence. We're almost there, but yet to reach it. Do let me know if at all you have any doubts. Any doubts on table 4? We'll rearrange, put a table 5 till we complete, till we get a proper sequence. This is almost there. We are almost there. Just one sequence alone went for a toss. Had some bit of issue. 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 4, 5. Complete till this. Do let me know if there are doubts. Okay, I will have to now get into mapping the cluster formation. Any doubts till this? Anybody has any doubts till this stage? We'll have to get into cluster mapping. Any doubts? Everyone done till this? Anyone still doing? Let me know, I'll wait. Anyone still doing? Okay, now what we are required to do is we are required to form cells along with parts which are to be mapped with them. Now machine F uses, our machine F is processing these three parts, P1, P2 and P4. D is processing P1, P2. Obviously I can club these two machines together as of now. P1, P2 is being processed in F as well as D. P4 is also additionally processed. Then I have machine C which processes P4, P5, P6, P4, P5, P6. This processes P5, P6, P3. Last machine P5 and P3. Now I can club together B and E. See, these two can be clubbed together. I'll club them together, these two machines, because P1 and P2 is getting manufactured there. I'll club these two machines also together, because your E and B is more or less processing the same products. The problem is with machine C. Because machine C processes a product called as P4. Machine C processes a product called as P4, which is also processed in machine F. Listen carefully. Machine C processes P4, which is also processed in machine F. Then I can say F, D and C can be combined together. That's one approach. F, D and C can be combined together because product P4 needs machine F as well as machine C. But the pitfall is machine C also processes P5. P6, which are being processed in E and B. Now what has happened here is, till this I don't have a problem. This also I don't have a problem. These are looking like a separate cluster. Now this machine C, you should either put it in cell 1 or cell 2. You should put it either in cell 1 or cell 2. If you put it in cell 1, then P5 and P6, when you process P5 and P6, they will move from cell 2 to cell 1 for the purpose of processing. You will have to have movement of material from the cell 2. So there is a cell 1 which could be here. There is a cell 2 which is here in the factory. I am yet to decide where should I put machine C. If I include machine C here, then two parts from here will come for processing to cell 1. What are the two parts? P5 and P6. P5 and P6. P5 and P6, which is part of cell 2, you will be processing them in manufacturing cell 2, and say that P5 and P6 also need machine C, so please go to cell 1. You will have to have that movement of material. Or the other way of doing this is cell 1 let it be as it is. In cell 2 please add machine C, which is the better way of doing it. If you add machine C here, at least this part will be taken care of. P5, P6, P3 will not need any movement. P5, P6, P3 will get processed within the cell 2 itself. P1 and P2 will also get processed within cell 1 itself. P4 start in cell 1, move to cell 2, complete processing and then come out. This is called intercell movement. You will have to do some intercell movement here. From cell 1 it has to go to cell 2. From cell 1 it has to go to cell 2. Objective is to keep this as low as possible, the intercell movements, but in this question it's impossible because P4 needs machine C, which is part of cell 2. P4 needs machine C because machine C is also needed for P5 and P6. Machine C is also needed for P5 and P6. So because of this, what happened is this is like a common machine. So what you have done is you have kept it part of either cell 1 or cell 2 with an approach to have as low movement as possible. With an approach of having as lower movement as possible. Any doubts on this? I'll again repeat. P1, P2, machine F, machine D, they are kind of linked in cell 1. P6, P3, machine E, machine B goes to your cell 2. There was no trouble with all of this. So P5, P6, P3 and machine E and B. The trouble is with your part 4. The trouble is also with your machine C. So part 4 we have kept it in cell 1 because machine F is there. The problem is with machine C. Should you keep it as part of cell 1 or cell 2? Wherever you keep it, there will be intercell movement. Objective is to have this movement as low as possible. Any doubts on this? Now write this. Cell 1, machines, machine F, machine D, machine F and machine D and parts P1, P2 and P4. Cell 1 machines are F and D, parts are P1, P2 and P4. Cell 2 machine C, machine E and machine B, C, E and B, and parts are P5, P6 and P3. parts are P5, P6 and P3. Comments. Part 4, P4 requires processing in machine F and machine C. Machine F and machine C. Machine F and machine C. Machine F is part of cell 1. Machine F is part of cell 1. Whereas machine C is part of cell 2. Is part of cell 2. This would lead to some intercell movement. Intercell movement as P4 will be initially processed in cell 1, and thereafter transported or thereafter moved to cell 2. This is like a wastage technically. I would like to avoid this, reduce this as low as possible. This is like wastage. In practical world, intercell movements could be difficult to avoid. We should go for reconfiguration of part. Addition of inclusion of additional machinery, outsourcing of part manufacturing, etc. to remove the intercell movement. I'll explain what I've written here. To remove the intercell movements. What I can do is I can reconfigure the part and finally say that P4 will need processing only in F and D, if at all that happens. P4 will need processing only in machine F and machine D. It will not need processing in machine C, if it can happen. That's one thing. Or if money is available, space is available, and it's not a big wastage, then I can include a machine C in both cell 1 and cell 2. I can include a machine C in both cell 1 and cell 2. It all depends on availability of money. So you can include a machine C in both cell 1 as well as cell 2. or you can say you will outsource the manufacturing of this part. You don't want to do this processing. You don't want to do this processing. It is essential to understand that the cells are not totally independent. P4, which is a member of cell 1, needs processing in machine C. Machine C belongs to cell 2. So amount of intercell movement or changes will take place in this situation. In general, these moves may become unavoidable. There are various alternative ways of eliminating intercell moves, redesigning the part so that machine belongs to other cell is no longer required. That's what I was saying. You redesign it and so that you don't need that machine. Subcontracting the part or adding the necessary machines in the cells. You will have to decide and then see which can be done. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on this question? This is again on rank order clustering algorithm. No new things here. It's just repetition of what we have done in the previous session. Let's proceed now. Let's come to 12. Let's come to 12.
So could you please go back to the solution for a minute? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'll come to this question now. Question 12. Glen Electronics manufactures a wide range of electronic heaters and geysers. Glen was a popular name among retailers and customers, but it keeps on losing the market share. Major reason is emerging competitors are offering economical product, customers with similar features and quality. Market wherein Glen operating is price sensitive. Adding more features and establishing itself as a premium brand is not the option. Only choice left with reduce the prices so that it needs to reduce the cost to maintain the profit margin. Basic background. I was very well known in the market for electronic heaters and geysers. I've been losing market share because competitors are giving a very low price. Now I cannot charge a premium price because market is price sensitive. So the only choice left is I'll have to reduce prices. A cost management committee was constituted to study the scenario and recommended the solution to the board of directors. The committee, based upon their study, suggests a three-phase solution, out of which phase 1 is stress on enhancing manufacturing cycle efficiency from its current level of 62.5%. Committee collected the following data with the help of the Office of Chief Management Accountant. Waiting time, time spent on processing, time spent on products waiting, process, moved, inspected, delivered. Currently the time spent on making sure that the products are not defective. Inspection time is double the time of transferring products between workstation, batch move time. Board of directors, so somewhere they are looking at a three-phase solution. In that the first phase solution is improving the manufacturing cycle efficiency. Improving the manufacturing cycle efficiency. I'll discuss in MC in some time. I've already discussed it. Let's see how many of you remember it. Board of directors, based upon the committee's report, decided to apply cellular manufacturing to reduce unnecessary move time. That's the primary objective of your cellular manufacturing. It will reduce movement time. Based upon decision, tasks are allocated to concerned functional managers. Managers and work showed their resistance. We are not convinced that cellular manufacturing reduces movement on the production floor. Some workers even mentioned they are not aware what is current inspection and movement time. You are deputy to management accountant and was part of the committee, hence board approached you to convince the manager and workers as part of change management. Calculate current inspection time and movement time. Calculate MCE and how much is the non-value added time in terms of days. Calculate revised manufacture cycle efficiency if both inspection and movement time cut down to half of the current level. What makes cellular manufacturing capable to reduce motions on the product floor and how benefit the workers? Explain. Part 1 and 3 is more of problem solving. Part 4 is more of theory oriented area. Go through this. Okay, now this committee has suggested some three-phase solution. In that, the first phase solution is talking about something on manufacturing cycle efficiency. The theory part is very simple. How cellular manufacturing will help, how cellular manufacturing is going to help this organization, and how is it going to help the workers is the theory part of it. That is something which we need to do. But first focus is on manufacturing cycle efficiency. We have done this earlier. Do any of can someone tell me what is the formula for manufacturing cycle efficiency? The other name is process cycle efficiency. What is MCE formula? We have done this earlier. I've done this in chapter 1. That's what I remember. Let's see. I think I have done it. Let me check the concept tracker. Yes, we have done this in just in time. We have just now, I think in chapter just in time, question 12, we have talked about manufacturing cycle efficiency or process cycle efficiency. Can someone tell me the formula for that? Okay, let's start doing it. They want us to calculate the current inspection time and movement time. Let's start. Working note 1. Computation of current inspection time, movement time, manufacturing cycle time, and non-value added time. And non-value added time. Part 1 and part 2 is done together. Non-value added time. Particulars calculation amount. Particulars calculation amount. Now the formula for your manufacturing cycle efficiency is value added time by total time. Value added time by total time. Value added time is only one, which is called processing time. Value added time is only one thing, which is called processing time. Your total time will include processing, movement, inspection, queue time, everything will be included in that. Everything will be included in that. So the only value added time is called processing time. Value added time. Value added time, which is processing. Which is processing. $20. Value added processing time 20 days. Manufacturing cycle efficiency, which is currently 62.5%. Manufacturing cycle efficiency, MCE, 62.5%. 62.5%. Total time. Total time. Total time. Now listen. I'm going to interchange this formula. Total time is nothing but value added time by manufacturing cycle efficiency. Total time is nothing but value added time by manufacturing cycle efficiency. Total time is nothing but value added time 20 days divided by 62.5%. Divided by 62.5%. It takes 32 days. It is taking 32 days. This is answer to part 2 of the question. In part 2, they had asked what is the manufacturing cycle time. It is 32 days. Manufacturing cycle time is 32 days. It's not a new concept. I've already done this. Manufacturing cycle time is 32 days. Days. Total non-value added time. Non-value added time is, your total time is 32 days. In that, value added is 20 days. Balance is non-value added. I'm kind of done with part 2 of the question. We are done with part 2. (32 days minus 20 days). Non-value added time is 12 days. Your cycle time is 32 days. In that, non-value added time is 12 days. In that, non-value added time is 12 days. Non-value added time is 12 days. Now what question also goes ahead and say, batch waiting time before the order getting processed is 4 days. Time spent working on the product is 20 days. Time spent by the products waiting to be processed, moved, inspected and delivered, queue time is 6 days. Time spent on making the product are not defective. Inspection is double that of the movement time. So there is a movement time, non-value added. Inspection time, non-value added. Queuing time, not value added. Waiting for the order is also technically non-value added, but it is not part of manufacturing cycle. It's not part of manufacturing cycle. Before the order getting processed is, I get a order and I start processing that order after 4 days. I get an order and I start processing the order after 4 days. I'm not sure why I wait for 4 days. Could be that after getting the order I do some checks and balances and then I start the processing, or maybe I wait for purchase of material. It could be multiple reason, but this is before manufacturing. This 4 days is before manufacturing, which is not part of manufacturing cycle efficiency. It's not part of manufacturing cycle efficiency. It is technically like a non-value added, but it's not part of MCE computation. Not part of MCE computation. So what is part of MCE computation? One is Q time, which is 6 days. Inspection and movement put together will be another 6 days. Totally non-value added is 12 days. Totally non-value added is 12 days. Total non-value added time is 12 days. In that 6 days is Q time. Balance 6 days is inspection plus movement time. Balance 6 days. So listen. Less Q time. We are waiting for product and all. It is waiting for the product to be processed, moved, inspected, delivered. In all that 6 days is getting lost. Balance time for inspection and movement. Balance time for inspection and movement is 6 days. There is some equation. They have said your inspection time is double that of movement time. Somewhere I'll get an answer accordingly. Inspection is double that of movement time. Any doubts till this, right? Less Q time. Q time 6 days. Balance time for inspection and movement is another 6 days. Inspection and movement is another 6 days. Inspection plus movement is equal to 6 days, in which the question has said your inspection time is double that of movement time. Time spent on making sure the products are not defective, inspection time is double that of the movement time. So I'll say 2 into movement time double plus movement time is equal to 6 days. Movement time is 2 days, inspection time is 4 days. Movement time is 2 days, inspection time is 4 days. Movement time is 2 days, inspection time is 4 days. Inspection time is 4 days. Totally 12 days of time wasted. 6 days in queuing, another 6 days in inspection and movement. In that, movement is 2 days, and inspection is 4 days. Movement is 2 days, inspection is 4 days. Any doubts on this? The question had asked for current inspection and movement time. Inspection is 4 days, movement is 2 days. Manufacturing cycle time. Cycle time is how many days does it take? 32. In that, non-value added was 12 days. We are done with part 1 and part 2. Revised cycle efficiency if inspection and movement is cut down to half of the current level. So they are saying inspection and movement will become half of the current time. Can you calculate MCE? calculate revised MCE if both inspection and movement time is cut down to half of the current level and other things remain constant. So revised MCE is equal to $20 which is value added. Denominator will also have 20 days plus 6 days of queue time plus 3 days of inspection and movement put together, half. 3 days of inspection and movement put together, it becomes half. It becomes half. Earlier denominator was 32. There is a good improvement in MCE now. From 62.5 it improves to 68.97. From 62.5 it has improved to 68.97. Has improved to 68.97. Has improved to 68.97. 20 on 29. Earlier it was 20 on 32. 20 on 32 was 62.5. 20 on 29 is 68.97%. 0.97%. Any doubts on this? Now, one thing which you'll have to understand is whenever an organization is trying to implement anything new, for example, if you're trying to implement something called as business process re-engineering, process innovation, Six Sigma, anything which you try to implement new, employees would initially start showing resistance. Employees would initially start showing resistance because employees will feel there is some uncertainty about what is going to happen in future. There's going to be some uncertainty about what is going to happen in future. So it's extremely critical. It's extremely critical for an organization to convince their employees and take them on board. Convince their employees and take them on board for whatever exercise you are trying to do. You are planning to do something, it is extremely critical that you take the employees on board. You take the employees on board saying that this is something good for you as well. This is what is going to happen in this. You are not going to be penalized in any way. Things are going to be good for you. So somewhere it becomes extremely critical. It becomes extremely critical for you to convince your employees, and take them as part of this project. Somewhere the workers are saying we are not convinced how cellular manufacturing reduces movement on the production floor. So I will have to now explain them how this cellular manufacturing is going to help. In fact, cellular manufacturing is basically a scientific way of production. It analyzes the manufacturing part and machine mapping, and makes the machines into different clusters. Objective is to reduce movement. Now there are twin benefits for employees. One, when there is reduction in movement of material, there will also be reduction in movement of people also. One is reduction in movement of material. Also there will be reduction in movement of people. When people movement reduces, these employees will have more time, and they can focus on productive things. So their productivity can improve. The employees' productivity can improve because I am trying to cut down on a non-value added item called as movement of material along with movement of people. Along with this also, the employees are are encouraged to know the overall process, that is the entire cluster. They will have an understanding of the entire cluster, this machine, this machine, this machine. They may start working also on multiple machines. So somewhere they'll feel that they are empowered in the organization. They're able to work on multiple things. They're able to work from the start till the end. Able to work on multiple missions. So somewhere that will also improve their motivation levels. Cellular manufacturing is capable of reducing movement on the production floor, is a lean way of enhancing productivity. This is basically what you do. You convert into manufacturing cells. Reduction of movement time by reducing material handling and transit time. Hence, once the movement of material is reduced, you will also see worker movement is reduced. This will lead to reduced queue time, beneficial in two ways: enhancing the productivity due to less motion. Fatigue will also be less to the worker after working in a shift of the same tenure. In fact, his productivity will be more. He will be working more on the productive things. When he works more on the productive things, if he's a piece rate worker, he'll start getting more wages. He will also be working on more than one mission. He will feel more empowered. So that's the benefit of cellular manufacturing. Any doubts on this? Is a lean way to enhance productivity by improving time and motion involved in production. Application of group technology, converting firms manufacturing system into manufacturing cells, leading to reduced movement and transit time, reduced queue time due to single batch or single piece flow, enhancement in labor productivity, and worker works on more than one machine and hence will be more empowered. Any doubts on this?